This ain't no audiobook. This ain't a radio play. This is a Happy Cloud audio tool. It's that time again for the Further Adventures of Rune, Return of the Miggins, brought to you by Happy Cloud Media and Chrome Toothpaste. Chapter 36, The GODTEETH Mountains. Lenny the Bruce lent them some cows for the much shorter journey to the GODTEETH Mountains, mere clicks from the Cow Clansman campsite. If it's all the same to you cats, we're gonna sit this one out until we're sure which side you're on, said Lenny the Bruce. Don't eat my cows, and give them a wash before you send them back. Bettie needed two. Neither cow was happy about it. Reaching the campsite, the Miggins reunited with Father Don and the army. They found the priest practically giddy. He'd finally gotten his cigar lit. Hey, great to see yous guys, seriously. Missed you like you wouldn't believe. Lots of big stuff been going on in your absence. I took it upon myself to organize a couple of things, get us some balls rolling in the air, bought some stuff for the guys, little things, not expensive, kept receipts. Don't you worry, sir, this is still all your show. As the great sun alb reached its midday position, they could hear Sergeant R.C. Swill finishing up the roll call. Oh, get on, Fleeble. Yeah. Suit, Murphillis. Yeah. Unsworth, Gunkley, Hunman, Wittering, and of course, Zigo. Absent. Right, dismissed. Rune surveyed the camp. The army looked as ready as they'd ever be, still as bedraggled and mismatched as before. Cersei conferred with her Succudryad generals, Peasbloodum, Cobweb, Moth, Mustard Seed, and Eunice. Everything seemed to be in order. They could execute their plan at any time. Off to one side, he heard Bettie Yetiskul talking with some curious gawkers. What if one morning you woke up feeling calm and not up to berserking? Some days you're just not up to doing a ribbon dance with entrails. See, I see from your faces you know what I'm talking about. A small group of blurg servants were digging a new lavatory trench, singing a body cavalry song from Fleens Gone By. In brothels I've shown my Lancelot. I go and visit them frequently, and we've all had pussy galorous. But the thought that makes me earthly sad is the loss of the true gal I had. Scandalous, thought the Gax, quickly jotting down the lyrics to be offended at his later leisure. Father Don tried to recapture Rune's attention. First, the big news to fill you in on. Now hold on to your hat and your gloves. Lord Morfinn himself is on his way to observe the battle. Is he now? You betcha. And he's a real eager to meet y'all and to watch the slaughter and the chaos, really get his money's worth. All the hair on the back of Rune's neck and tail stood up at once. How reasonable. Yeah, and just to soften up all of the balls, Deepians, I sent a little advance party to the ridge up there, just to poke them a little bit, You didn't. It wasn't a question. It was a prayer. Sure, and then we ran into this little fellowship on the way and sort of incorporated them into the group. There's an elf up there, I think. One of them little persons, too. Oh yeah, this one guy named Gary. Why, what's the problem? Scarlett! Rune called, running. Scarlett caught up to him and matched his pace, climbing the path at the top of the ridge. What's wrong? Moron amateurs doing moron amateur things. Oh, yay. At the crest of the hill was indeed a small group of snipers, crossbows at the ready. They had a good vantage of balls deep, directly across the valley from them. Stop! Called Rune and Scarlett, then repeated themselves again for good measure. Stop! Of course, their cries startled one of the archers. He let loose a bolt and set it flying into the battle mouth. From far away, they heard, "Hey!" Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Off in the distance, they heard a clang and a muffled thunk. Rune grimaced. God damn it, Gary. Then came the massive flying boulder that took out the squad. The first victims of the Battle of Balls Deep were recorded thusly. Vodka Gimlet the dwarf, Legolam the elf, Henry the beard, and Kenny the dug. Gary, last of his name, remained unscathed. It was quite the lampoon, no matter Harvard you sliced it. Scarlett called across the chasm. Sorry about that. And in return, "You done? Yeah, sorry again, we're going back down." There was no further response. Rune glared at the smoldering corpses, at the entire situation, at Gary. Okay, that settles it. Something is rotten in Balls Deep, and I'm not going any further until I figure out what. Parlay? Chapter 37. At long last, Balls Deep. I still say this is a big mistake, said Father Don, for the Rune had stopped counting at the time. Lord Morfinn, probably hit some traffic, or, got stuck behind a school bus. Happens to me all the time in Rome, a school bus, stuck behind a garbage truck, man. I'm always so late for work. The Lord forgives you. Yeah, sure, but, Snee is always, super disappointed. Rune and Scarlett were marching down the path that led to the forward bridge, almost a click long, barely 3 people wide, suspended over a bottomless chasm. It was not a steep path, but it was gravelly and required sure footing and even better boots, neither of which, in his haste to change minds, had Father Don brought with him. He continually stumbled and skidded as Rune and Scarlett advanced. Lord Morfinn hired Rune to lead an army to Balls Deep. That's what he did. This is him leading further. No, blurk, damn it. Father Don landed on his ass and scooched before regaining his footing. He mumbled a prayer of sorry for the blasphemy as he scurried to catch up. Sorry for the blasphemy, blurk. He didn't lead anything. He pointed behind them in the vague direction of the army. They walked, and his girlfriend's shadow tossed the rest of us here. We've been waiting here for like 2 fleeks. Who do you think's been looking after them the whole time? Me. Spiritual guide, nursemaid, therapist. Plus, I'm always the guy who has to pay for the pizza. Don't talk to me about it. You're like his second in command. I'm the captain of the guard and the head of espionage, but we don't really subscribe to labels. I'm saying fine, you want to talk to him, we'll talk to him. Just, please wait until Lord Morfinn gets here. I don't trust Lord Morfinn. He's your patron. We haven't been paid yet. He's not a patron. We're his patsies. Scarlett looked back at Father Don with a, see? Look on her face. The priest was undeterred in his panic. Look, I personally vouch for Lord Morfinn. My solemn word, he is on the level. I don't trust you either. Well, that's just hurtful. They reached the end of the path at the start of the bridge. As expected, chasm, bottomless, span, narrow, walls, daunting, cliff faces, sheer. Scarlett turned to the priest and stopped him. This is where you stay. Hey, that's fine by me. I don't want any part of this debacle. Scarlett turned from him. He ran to stop her. You are on your own. I like to wash my hands and my feet of the whole thing. She waited. He didn't disappoint. Last I'm gonna say about it. I am out. This is all on you. He puffed his cigar and sat down on a rock, arms crossed, then turned his back to them. Twice. He done? Asked Rune from the bridge. Scarlett trudged the rest of the way up the hill. Probably not. There were no sentries stationed at the great gates, nor was there any need for such. Exceptionally engineered, the bridge beneath their feet was narrow, but unlike most structures they were used to, it was neither crumbling nor unsound. Still, they couldn't help but imagine it swaying beneath their feet, ready to buck and drop them into oblivion. They took it slowly, wary for traps, which would only be overkill. Reaching the end, they craned their necks to look up at the parapet wall high above. Using his doom marble, Rune projected his voice to call up under provisions of truce. "Which one of you fired that arrow at us?" came a nasally voice. "Neither. That was a mistake. Sorry about that." Said the voice. Female, northern Flirvish accent. "Well, we'll talk to the lady there, but we don't like all this yelling. Hold on a minute." Hold on was clearly a figure of speech, for the square of stone upon which Rune and Scarlett stood became a rapidly rising column that brought them just below parapet height. It had no handles or guardrails of any kind. A few seconds later, their stomachs caught up with them. Ugh. The bored face staring back at them was not humanish, but her ornate hat and high-collared cloak hid her species, something fuzzy. Her entire demeanor indicated that she had other and better things to do than have this conversation. "Well, get on with it. My stories are starting." Anticipating that a matriarchal society would prefer to speak with a female in authority, Scarlett had all the intel they'd gathered about Balls Deep, including what beans had been spilt by Lenny the Bruce, and she was more than capable of negotiating. It was now Rune's one and only job to keep his mouth shut. He partly wished he'd taken Cersei up on her offer to craft him a muzzle. Scarlett took a small step forward. A large step would have her plummet to her doom. "Greetings, Governor. You wouldn't happen to be Meredith by any chance?" "No, I'm a Sister Beryl. Meredith's on holiday with her family in Vorn." "Oh, nice. I suppose. They go there every year. I keep trying to convince her to try Flythe or Holt just for the change, but her Charlie likes Vorn. Should have married Bernard Sprout, but at least she got the 3 children out of it." "Oh, 3 children. Aye, one of each." Rune could feel his patience disintegrating, like a prize-winning sandcastle the day after the contest. He elbowed Scarlett's leg and she waved him back. "Anyway, so I couldn't help but notice you got a large army on our hill over there, especially after you attacked us." "Again, total accident. It was this guy, Gary," said Rune, desperate to get things moving. "Say no more, we've all got our Garys. Bless their hearts." "Listen," said Rune, despite Scarlett's shushing. "Do you have a necromancer in there?" "A what?" Scarlett winced. "A necromancer? Holding you hostage or threatening you in any way?" Beryl just stared at them. "Why would we have one of those? Not to my knowledge, love, no. Did you want me to check? Oi, Brenda, we got a necromancer down there." "No, that's a percolator. You didn't want a percolator by chance, did you, love?" "No, you definitely said necromancer." Rune didn't appreciate the sarcasm, but he got the answer he was looking for. "Who told you that we did?" Scarlett looked at Rune, whose eyebrows indicated that she should say, so she did. "Lord Morfinn of, "Lord Morfinn? You mean Grimfoil?" Somewhere in the distance, a needle scratched across a record. Rune took a deep breath. Rage spread through his entire body, and every muscle dealt with it differently. Words formed in his mouth, but retreated to his throat. He swallowed, rolled his head on his shoulders to break up the steel beams that were suddenly his neck muscles. "Pray," he said through clenched jaws that failed to replicate a disarming grin. "Repeat that?" "Oh, sure. Everybody knows that Morfinn is Grimfoil." Rune forced a smile. "Do they?" He wanted to look Scarlett in the eye, but his neck wouldn't move, so he glared at her left hip instead. "Yes, we let him live here for a while. Gave us a sob story about being persecuted in Roville. He was the leader of the Zoid conspiracy. Well, we know this now. Where were you 5 fleens ago when he showed up here whining for sanctuary? Or last fleen when you lost the election and we had him banished? Election. Wanted to be governor, didn't he? Ran against Meredith. Suddenly there are all these redcaps running about, ruining people's meals, upsetting the kids and the pets. Now Grandma doesn't like morphs and Grandpa thinks the taxes are too high. When Grimfoil loses fair and square, does he go away quietly? No. He goes and hires an army of mercenaries, he does. Typical. Shouldn't have let him live, but no good deed goes unpunished, I always say. But that's on Meredith. Heart as big as the all outdoors." Forcing another smile, Rune said, "Excuse me." He reached up and spun Scarlett around to meet him. "All this time," he said, uncorking his hip flask and draining it in one swallow, forgetting but not caring what was in it. It burned, and that was all that was important to him. "We've been working for a necromancer?" Which is what we expected. Rune's hip flask was made of Flytherin mithril, one of the hardest metals in all of Trogdine. In Rune's enraged fist, it was a stress ball. "Who's we?" Scarlett flashed him a hesitant, guilty smile. No. I've been working for the Sun Gazia too! Come on, you already knew that. I knew you were working for them. Okay, but she stalled, then found her footing in the argument and pointed at him. "When you get right down to the hardwood, what we told you at the start was true. Dusty and I haven't seen much of you since the wedding, and we were looking for an excuse to hang. I'm gonna hang you both!" "Oh, you know Dusty didn't know anything about this. You know he hates lying." "Scarlett, if you told him to eat balls deep, he'd die toothless and full." She sighed. They stopped talking and glared at each other. "What do we do here? They're a matriarchal society, so you're safe." "Rune," he forced his anger to seep out in little sighs. "You two okay over there?" called Beryl, who was definitely going to miss her stories now. Scarlett turned and flashed a thumbs up, which, since they were in Gilver, meant all good, and turned back again to the 2-person huddle. "What do we do about the army? There's no way they're going through with this invasion." "No," agreed Rune. His tail twitched in irritation. Finally, he turned back around. "Say, Beryl." "What? Oh, it's you. You're the male one, aren't you?" "Last I checked." "What is it that you want? Balls Deep need any mercenaries?" She didn't answer right away, but her smile was lawful evil at best. "You mean a conscripted army and the like?" "Yeah, a lot like that." "Well," she stroked her chin thoughtfully. "Hang on. Hey, Gloria, come here a second. Put the vase down low if they're not going to sell it to someone else in 2 seconds. Because I want your opinion. Because you're the deputy mayor, that's why." "Never mind, I'll ask Phyllis." "Hey, Phyllis!" Beryl disappeared beneath the parapet to confer with either Phyllis or, if the vase was already spoken for, Deputy Mayor Gloria. "I don't know. How much is Morfinn paying you?" "So far, nothing." Beryl nodded. "I think we could afford to double that." When Lord Morfinn arrived at the mountain camp, he received no fanfare. His entourage went ungreeted, their lummoxes unfed, their carriages undetailed. Instead of the mighty army, he found only Monsignor Don Gandalf Guido Novella Baracone sitting forlorn in a lawn chair, his cigar unlit, and his mustache all droopy. Father Don neither stood nor bowed. "So, this whole war thing, it's not gonna happen." 20 minutes later, Lord Morfinn, the noble from the Nouth Wents, the regal, the titled, stood with an uncomfortable Father Don at the end of the forward bridge and demanded an audience with his traitorous general. "Demanded," he said repeatedly. "Bring me Rune." "Yeah, 1 second," came the response from high above. His hearing was strained, but Lord Morfinn was certain he'd heard. "Beryl, could you do the thing?" Then Morfinn and Father Don held onto each other for dear life as the stone they stood upon shot up into the air. They brusquely disentangled once the stone came to its sudden halt. Pulling himself to his full height, Lord Morfinn threw his nose into the air, almost losing his olive-wreath visor in the process. He looked every bit the arrogant and unquestioned nobility, like the face on a coin. "Enough," he said with a stamp of his foot. "I demand to face the general who betrayed me. Show yourself. I am Lord Morfinn." "Get out of here, you Grimfoil." All the color drained from Lord Morfinn's face. He looked at Father Don, who gaped at him, his cigar dangerously close to dropping from his lip. Morfinn punched his fist to his hips. "Who told you?" Rune popped his head over the parapet and squinted at the grand figure on the column. Just a minute. A full dozen archers appeared and drew down on the checkmated pair. Rune's mouth dropped open in honest surprise. Unable to stop himself, he barked a laugh and pointed. "Ha! No! Weasel face!" thus concludes this episode of the Further Adventures of Rune. Tune in next week via your favorite audio delivery system. Don't forget, full episodes and super mega chunks are available on Patreon. But you knew that already.